let's play TBR Bluff in September. Welcome to my September TBR. I will be playing TBR Bluff again this month. If you have no idea what TBR Bluff is, I will leave a playlist of how everything works down below, but I'm gonna roll some dice, and those dice are gonna give me a corresponding prompt. I use this most months to pick my TBR and to just spice it up a little bit. Last month was Battle-a-thon, so I'm not gonna be taking any kind of punishment roll because we stayed above water in August, and that is really what matters. So for this month, we're just gonna be kind of cruising. We're gonna enjoy a nice clean board, and I'm just going to be rolling and having my best life. I will be joining in one readathon this month, the Phantom Romance Readathon, which is hosted by Maggie from Maggie's Bookshelf, and I will be joining Monica's team, which is the opera singer. You get points for lots of different things, but primarily our team is going to be focusing on enemies to lovers and forced proximity, which are two elite tropes that I cannot wait to read a lot of in the month of September. As far as required reading books, I don't have a lot. I have a couple of Patreon reads and we will chat about those. But other than that, I think that that's all of the housekeeping. So let's flip over to our first roll. Okay, so we are starting with a fresh, clean board and TBR Bluff roll number 1. Okay, so that got us 2 3s, 2 1s, and a 5. Which everything should at least still be on the board. 2 3s and 2 1s is without the, and, a, or of. I like that prompt. We're gonna go for it. For our first roll, we got 2 3s and 2 1s, which is without the, and, a, or of. This was a little harder than I expected it to be. There are a lot of books that have the or and in the title that I wanted to read this month, but I am going to be starting my spooky TBR just a little bit early and going with Heads Will Roll by Josh Winning. I read a book of his last year during spooky season, really enjoyed it, and I'm excited to get into this one. I think it is about adults at a summer camp. I've heard amazing things, 5-star vibes out of this, and so I'm so excited to read it. It is on my seasonal spooky challenge TBR, so I definitely need to be knocking this one out. Roll number 2. We don't need help. That really did not help me much. It got me 2 3s, and right now 2 3s is reverse page count. We could potentially get like a Patreon pick with it, a book club pick, sci-fi, which I do not want, standalone, also do not want, and a friend fave, which I do want. I think I'm going to re-roll these 2. So that got me 3 3s, which is sci-fi. I really don't want that. So because I really don't want that, we're gonna re-roll these 2. Okay, so 2 3s and 2 5s. That gives me chapter titles. That one's really hard. So I rolled the dice and lost, but we're gonna make it work. Then we got chapter titles. Chapter titles is one that I typically avoid because I just have a hard time finding those, especially if I don't physically own the books, which it is making me read my physical TBR, which is probably a good thing. But typically speaking, books have like the name of the person that's point of view we're in, but chapter titles are harder to find. However, I really like them when they're there. Chapter titles, if you don't have any clue what I'm talking about, it's basically where it's like chapter 1, but then there's a title of what the chapter is going to give you. So for example, the book that I am going to be choosing is Darkwater Daughter by H.M. Long. I've heard good things about this. I'm kind of feeling the pirate vibes, and this one I think does have that. It is about a storm singer who's a woman whose voice can still the hurricanes and shatter armadas. She's faced with servitude to a pirate lord, and he is a disgraced naval officer. They're driven into the eternal ice into the limits of the world, and they must choose their loyalties and battle forces older and more powerful than pirates who would make them slaves. Not 100% sure if this is a romantasy, although it does give me a little bit of romantasy vibes. Either way, sounds like a lot of fun. But the chapter titles are going to look like this. This one's called A Song for the Noose, I believe. And yeah, I'm excited to give this one a try. Roll number 3. 2 2s, a 4, a 3, and a 1. So 2 2s also has some fun ones. Sexy cover, friend fave. Spooky would be really nice. I would love to read a horror. New to TBR, I just bought a lot of horror, video project. So all of the 2s are good. So I'm going to keep the 2 2s and re-roll the other 3. 3 2s and 2 6s. So 3 2s is a video project. 2 6s and 2 2s is spooky. I can't remember the rules. Can I do spooky if I also have video project? I feel like I can. We're gonna do spooky. It's fine. My game, my rules. Next up, we got spooky. So I am getting to enjoy my spooky life just a little bit more. And for this one, I think I'm going to be going with Darcy Coates' new release, which is Ghost Camera. I love Darcy Coates. I have an entire shelf. It is my life's mission to own all of Darcy Coates' books. So I was so excited when she came out with a quote-unquote new book this year. I think this is a republish of one of her earlier novellas that has some short stories bound up in the back of it, which she does with a lot of her books. I'm just excited for them to be getting new attention. This one says they're always watching. It's about Janine, who finds an abandoned Polaroid camera, snaps a photo, doesn't think anything about it, but then there is a ghost in the background and it is fixated on her. Sounds so good. This is a short one and I cannot wait to get to it. Roll number 4. 2 ones, a 6, a 5, and a 2. 2 ones is out of my comfort zone. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. Otherwise, we have blurbed. Also don't really want that. Hybrid genre could be good. Non-Western setting, sexy cover, dual timeline. Do I just be really chaotic and re-roll the whole hand? Because I'm not feeling most of the ones that are with a 1. I think we're gonna do it. That got us 3 6s, a 5, and a 2, and 3 6s is a debut author. I'm trying to think if I have anything like on my immediate TBR that is a debut author, and I don't think that I do. We're just really going to be rolling for prompts for this one because I think I'm going to keep 2 of the 6s and re-roll the other 3 die. Well, that got me the exact prompt that I did not want, so we're going to be going with debut author. I think the board hates me and is just trying to teach me a lesson about picking prompts. TBR Bluff was really not liking me this month. Everything that I wanted, I was going for prompts this time. Everything that I wanted, it was like, nah, girl, no. But that's okay. We still got some pretty good prompts, even if they were a touch more difficult than I would like for them to be. Then we had 2 6s, which ended up being debut author. That was a little bit harder than I expected it to be. I did find one. I think I'm going to be going with Worthy of Fate by A.N. Caudell. This is a romantasy that I have been seeing everywhere. It is a fated mates romantasy, which used to drive me up a wall, but honestly kind of gotten over it, starting to enjoy that trope a little bit more now. I am getting mildly tired of everything being fated mates, but at the same time, I'm always looking for a book to have a new fun twist on an old trope, so hopefully this one will do that for me. I do have a special edition coming of this one as well. I know I have a special edition coming of everything apparently, but I do really want to get to this one. I think it's going to be so good. It is a chunky boy, so definitely going to make up for the fact that Ghost Camera is quite short, but I'm excited to read it and I think it's going to be great. And our final roll, roll number 5. Not a whole lot, so we're gonna roll again. Two 6s, 2, a 1, and a 3. So 2 6s, a 5-star prediction. I do like that, but we're just gonna roll these 3 one more time and see what we get. Nothing. So 5-star prediction for our final roll. Then we got 2 6s. Apparently when the 6s come, the 6s come. And that is a 5-star prediction, which I really did not want to land on. I read all of my 5-star predictions in August for Battleathon because you were getting points off of your star rating. And so most of what I think I would have given 5 stars, I read then. However, there was one book that I gave a very high 4-star, a 4.5 star, and I can read its sequel as a 5-star prediction. So I am going to be reading Torch Against the Night by Sabaa Tahir. This is a cute little note that my Pango shop owner gave me, but this is the sequel to An Ember in the Ashes. It's a series that I really should have read a long time ago, but somehow managed not to do it. It is a revolution, rebellion, young adult book about a world where we have people that are completely oppressed by the government, essentially, and then we also have the point of view of a guy that is the son of one of the governmental leaders. And I just really enjoyed where this book went, to the points of views, the discussions, the magic. I thought it was all really interesting. So I'm hoping that this one will be at least a 4.5 or 5 stars. I think it can count for this prompt. So those are all of my TBR official books. Those are all 5 of my books. It feels way too short to only have 5 books on a TBR. So let's add some more. Because I did not get a chance to get my Patreon book club read on the official TBR, we will be adding it to this. That is going to be Fear the Flames by Olivia Rose Darling. I don't have this book in my hands yet because it was indie or self-published originally and then got picked up and is now going to be republished in a traditional way. So I'm excited to get this when it comes out on September 17th. I will be reading this with my patrons. We'll be discussing it. I think it's going to be a great time. This, I believe, is going to loosely fit enemies to lovers, but I do believe it'll fit forced proximity as well. So it's going to work really, really well for the romance readathon. And then just a couple of other books that I do want to get to that I think could fit for the romance readathon is Throne of Shadows. This is actually my Patreon book club book from August that I was a slacker and have not had a chance to read yet. So we're going to be rolling that over to the very beginning of September. I really want to try something from this author, and so I think this is a great place to start. And then we also have Curse of Saints by Kate Dramis. This one would have also worked, I believe, for debut author, and it is an enemies to lovers stabby female main character. I've heard pretty good things about this book overall. Some people absolutely loving it, some people just thinking it was pretty good, but I don't think I've heard anything that was like not good, so I definitely want to be in on the hype for this one. It says, she was not a beacon of light, she was not a savior of realms. If the gods had chosen her, they had chosen wrong. Love a good chosen one trope. This is going to fit the forced proximity. I think it's not really enemies to lovers, it's more of a rivals to lovers or reluctant allies trope. But this one, it says forced by circumstance to work together. That's close enough for forced proximity for me. And then we also have Wren in the Holly Library. This is the Fairy Lit Romantasy edition. Been hearing amazing things about this one as well, so I'm so excited to finally give this one a try. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling. It is set in a dystopian world, I believe, where it has been taken over by monsters. This one is also forced proximity. Normally I feel like I'm an enemies to lovers girl, but apparently we're just pulling out all the forced proximity stops because she is now trapped in a library with this monster. Very excited to give this one a try. Heard so many good things, so I need to be up on all of the hype. Okay guys, so there you have it. This is my TBR for the month of September. Include Worthy of Fate as well as Throne of Shadows in this, so we do have a very stacked TBR for the month of September, but a TBR that I am so very excited for. Let me know what you are planning to read in the month of September. Are you participating in any readathons? Do you have any books that you are just dying to get to? And leave me a ghost emoji down in the comments below. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!